What's up? How you doing out there, MCTV land? I'm finally back after a long hiatus. Um, it wasn't for any particular reason. It was just that I wanted to start shooting long form videos again, and because how I was shooting long form videos was on my um, phone. It didn't look right with the vertical videos. That's why I started doing shorts. And I was doing shorts for a while, but my intention was always to come back to long form videos once I had better equipment and software. This is the second webcam that I've gotten. The first webcam was absolute trash. This webcam is better, but it's not the best as you can see. So hopefully over time I will be upgrading my stuff, my equipment, my stuff, and my software. I will get better at editing because I suck at editing right now. I don't really know the programs or how to use the programs, but hopefully over time that will come. Or maybe one day I'll be able to hire an editor. One can only hope, right? But so I'm back doing these videos. I'm going to be trying to drop a long form video starting off. I'm gonna try to do it weekly. Um, Not necessarily a video like this, but just a long form video. Uh, I have tried to make this video, I don't know how many times, like 10 times, I want to say. This is the second attempt today to make this video. I had got like 30 minutes into the video and realized that I had did something wrong, and basically all 30 minutes are trash. So I had to restart. So hopefully, like I don't forget anything that I said or anything like that. I mean, I'm not going to. I don't have a script, so it's not like I'm gonna say it again verbatim anyway. But um, it's just it sucks when you lose like your video. Any content creator can probably see or know. Like when you lose a video, especially when you're just like you don't have a script, you're just free forming it. You feel like, oh man, will I say the same stuff? Will it be as good now? You know what I'm saying? So hopefully it'll be just as good or better than what I literally just had to throw away. So the video that we're getting into today, this is a video from the Bulwark. Support the original content. Support the Bulwark. If you like this video, you will like the Bulwark's content. The guy is on the screen right now. His name is Tommy Vitor, I believe. He's one of the Pod Save guys. I keep wanting to call them bros because that's what they call them, Pod Save bros. But I don't know if that's like derogatory. I don't know how they feel about that, but he's one of the Pod Save guys, Pod Save America, Pod Save the World. He and the other Pod Save guys worked in the Obama campaign. That's where they got they start, and they've had a podcast for forever and a day. Sarah Longwell and the Bulwark, they're like mostly ex-Republicans, so I don't know how much it comes up during this conversation, but you might see that she has more of a right wing type of tilt. What they're discussing today, she has a like she does focus groups where she basically talks to voters to see how they feel about stuff, about certain situations, about candidates, about uh, sometimes parties, but about politics. She talks to voters to see how they feel. Today they're talking to Democratic voters, seeing how they feel about Israel. So I thought that would be a great video to start off with to get back into not long term, long form videos. Just real quick, how I see it, um, like what's going on and what has been going on in Gaza is terrible. Uh, I don't know if I consider it definitionally a genocide necessarily because to me, like genocide means you're literally trying to erase a people. Like, and this is because just be in my head. Like, I don't have no love for what Israel is doing. I think they're are awful. I think a lot of them are evil, and like I don't have no love for them. And this is not me trying to hedge or whatever, whatever. It's just to me when I think of genocide, it's like kill all of them, like kill them all. You know what I'm saying? Like erase them, like get rid of them, kill them all, get them all out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that the Israeli government is that's not that might I'm not saying that's not their plan. Eventually, I'm not saying that that's not where they want to go, but I'm just saying right now I don't know if that fits that. Now, from what people say, it fits the definition of genocide. So I'm not here to argue against using the word genocide or whatever. To me it doesn't matter. Like it matters for politicians. I think it matters like because it's kind of like if the people want to call it genocide, what are you going to say? You know what I'm saying? So I think it matters more for politicians. For an everyday person like me, I'm like, what they're doing is horrible. It's evil. It should be stopped. They're evil people. Like some bad things should happen to them. I'm not going to describe the bad things because this is a video for YouTube. But it's all evil. It's all awful. It's murder. It's killing. It's death. It's destruction. It's terrible. Is it? I literally am trying to wipe out these people. I don't know. like I don't know. But also by that notion, I don't know if the Holocaust was a genocide. Like I don't know if they literally were trying to wipe them all out or they were just trying to like I don't know contain them. I don't know. I don't know. But I will say the same thing about that. It was horrible. It was evil. Bad people. You know what I'm saying? So like this, that's just me. I don't know about the definition or term of it. Whatever. See, this wasn't in the original video. This is gonna be this is gonna be like the most controversial thing that comes from this video. Anyway, moving past that, let's get into what these people are saying. These are Democrats. What they're saying about America's relationship with Israel, about APAC and stuff like that. So let's get into this video.
Maybe someday we can do a focus group on a topic where you don't feel like you're on a high wire for 45 minutes.
Did you feel that way? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Focus Group podcast. I'm Sarah Longwell, publisher of The Bulwark, and this week we're covering a key wedge issue that's emerged in the Democratic Party in the last couple of years. I'm talking about America's relationship with Israel.
That being said, I don't know if I would consider it a wedge issue. Like she calls it a wedge issue. To me, a wedge issue is something that divides. You got one group over here, you got another group over here. Like it might be a wedge between the the party base, like the actual voters and the politicians. It might be a ways like that, but it's not like 50% of Democrats support Israel and what Israel is doing in Gaza, and 50% are against it. It's like the vast majority are against what's going on, and it's like a minority is maybe is for it. So I don't know if I would consider a wedge issue necessarily, unless you're just talking about the voters versus the politicians. Then it might be a wedge issue.
Israel has become a lightning rod in primaries across the country, including in the last few weeks. And I want to pull apart how and why it has happened that Israel is now such a big issue in the Democratic Party. And look, there's been an obvious shift among Democrats since Israel and Hamas have been at war since 2023. According to Pew Research, 55% of Democrats held an unfavorable view of Israel in 2022, and that number was up to 69% in 2025. There was a similar bump among Republicans during that time.
So see, that's 69% of Democrats have an unfavorable view of Israel. That's not even like the view of what Israel is doing in Gaza or whatever. And that's not counting like undecided or whatever. 69%. So that's something at the most, it's like 30% to 70% basically who have a favorable view of Israel. That's not a wedge issue to me. Like a wedge issue is more 50-50. That's a wedge issue. When you got 70%, and at the most, because she didn't tell us all the numbers, she didn't tell us how much support Israel. That's not a wedge issue, and that's just talking about Israel. That's not even talking about like the what's going on in Gaza.
Went from 27% unfavorable up to 37%, driven almost entirely by young people. I think most of the Democrats you're going to hear in today's focus groups would register in that poll as having an unfavorable view towards Israel. It's an almost universal opinion. But that does not mean that your mental caricature of the median Democrat should be a college-aged protester. People are a bit more nuanced than that. My guest today is Tommy Vitor, co-host of Pod Save America and Pod Save the World, and Kenyan alum, just like me. Hey, man.
Great to see you.
Great to see you. You know, I got a note the other day from a Kenyan math teacher saying that she loved the Bulwarks.
Math. You didn't have to do a lot of hard science.
Papers.
Took calculus in high school.
They're just talking about their college years and how they both went to the same college, which I find it's a little strange that like he's a Democrat who worked for the Obama campaign, who lives in California. And she's a Republican. I don't know who campaign she worked on. I think she lives in Washington right now. And like, unless Kenyon College is just a college for like political people or poli sci people, it's kind of weird to me that they both went to the same college. It is what it is, but I'm just skipping past that because that's just what they're talking about.
Luckily,
what is it? What?
More numeracy.
So I want to test a thesis of mine on you because I like having you on for these conversations because you and I are not always aligned on these things. A handful of these DSA aligned candidates have been winning primaries this year, like in New York, Denver, Philadelphia. And I just wrote something making the case that what's going on in the party is a lot less ideological than the left might like to think, that it has less to do with left-wing policies exactly and more to do with how angry voters are. But I will also stipulate that there are issues that come up quite a bit now, and Israel is one of them. Affordability is the other one. And so that those kinds of things have sort of converged to make DSA candidates slightly more palatable at this moment because they're strong ideological whatever, gives voters the perception they are fighters, which is what they're looking for. But how ideological do you think this fight actually is? Like, do you think this factionalism is real or is it more online?
That is a really good.
I don't think it's a factional fight. I think it is very, very online, but I think in reality it's not a factional fight. I think we mostly agree. I think if you got 70%, you got 70%. Like we mostly agree. It's not really a factional fight. So quickly on the DSA, like I feel like I like the DSA. I like the DSA candidates as far as their economic policy. For me, I'm super liberal economically, but I'm more centrist like on social issues. So I feel like that some of the DSA candidates are a little more left than me on social issues, which I feel like is okay. Like I think as long as like right now the way the Democratic Party works is that we all agree on social issues pretty much, and we disagree on economic policy. Like some people think we should have Medicare for all. Some people don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? But on the social issues, we pretty much all agree. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like that should be swapped. I think we should all agree on the economic policy that we should be lifting the lower and middle class and taxing the rich, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Being just saying taxing the rich to me is not enough, like because it's the first step, but we need to have a mindset of being anti the consolidation of wealth. Like we need to be pro competition, not only pro competition from business to business, but we need to be pro competition for workers. Like companies should have to compete for workers. Like it should be like I want this person, so I'm gonna have to give them better work standards. I'm gonna have to give them better hours. I'm gonna have to give them better time off. I'm gonna have to give them better benefits. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm competing against somebody else for these workers. That's why I'm also not super into immigration. It's not on a racial thing. I don't care what race you are. Obviously, I'm black. I don't care what race you are. I just believe that we should have a competition for employees. So anything that dilutes that competition for employees, I'm not really for. That's also why I am pro like alternative ways of making money. You know what I'm saying? Like let's legalize marijuana everywhere and give these people jobs. You know what I'm saying? Or however alternative way you might make money. Adults know what I'm talking about. I am for that because that creates more competition for the workers that are left who are not making money through alternative ways. And this is an alternative way of making money. I'm not making money off of this right now, but this is an alternative way of making money. I am pro all of that because I want to have a competition for employees. Competition is great, and we need to increase competition, and we need to stop the consolidation of wealth. That should be our overall opinion on stuff. We should be against certain type of mergers, not all mergers, because some mergers are okay, but we should be against like really big mergers. We should be against really big companies buying up everything. We should be against people being able to have billions or trillions of dollars of wealth in the stock market. Like your sitting stocks, in my opinion, your sitting stocks should be taxed. If you have $10 billion worth of stocks of assets, like if you can take a loan off of those assets, you should be taxed on those assets. So while you have that billions of dollars in your stock portfolio sitting there, it should be taxed like above a certain amount because I think you do want to get people on the lower scale to invest in companies because that's another way for them to make money, which any other alternative form of income, like I said, creates competition for workers. But I believe that you shouldn't be able to just have a bunch of wealth just sitting somewhere and you like I said, you can take loans off of it, but you can't be taxed off of it. No. So anyway, that's my opinion. I that wouldn't really fall into a D. I don't know if that would fall into a DSA platform. I just know a lot of the DSA candidates are very like some of them say they want open borders, no cops, like what I'm saying, get rid of jails. Like I don't know if I can rock with that. And I'm pretty progressive. I just don't know if I can rock with that. But that's just a little bit about my view. So that's just to show you how I look at stuff to show like I have a different opinion out there that you might not like, and we can discuss that. But that's my opinion.
Question. I do think as political professionals, we probably over-index on our assumption that policy is driving political decisions. When you're right, it's more like I like this person, their character, are they a fighter, etc. I think what we are seeing on the left and the far right at the moment is rage at the establishment, rage at the status quo, feeling like the current system is broken and not working for anyone. And that is playing out in elections in New York, Colorado, all over the place, right? When it comes to foreign policy, I think when Bernie Sanders ran in 2016, he was almost entirely focused on domestic policy issues. To the extent he talked about foreign policy, it was like trade. But he was like Medicare for all, taxing the rich, free college. Like that was the feature. The foreign policy stuff was an afterthought. I kind of feel like on the left in the sort of Bernie adjacent political world, that's just not the case anymore. I feel like progressives are as focused on foreign policy, especially Israel Gaza related issues, as they are Medicare for all, at least in terms of just like the things you hear people talking about.
Why do you think that?
Now, I would say a big reason that Bernie Sanders was not that about foreign policy in the 2016 campaign was that there was nothing really big going on as far as foreign policy that America was involved in. Like we were still in the Afghan war, but that wasn't really popping off. There was nothing really big going on for Bernie Sanders to even really have a big argument about, especially in a Democratic primary. Like, he never got to the general, so it was a Democratic primary. There wasn't really anything for him to be like, well, you're doing this or you're planning on doing this, and I'm not. There really wasn't nothing going on. What's going on now is a horrible murder and slaughter of a people. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing, and it's something that America could do something about. Which is another thing. There wasn't really anything that America could do about any whatever big thing was going on in 2016 as far as foreign policy. I'm trying to think back. There wasn't really anything. Like, I think Russia had just invaded Crimea, had just taken Crimea. Like, maybe, but it's like, what like what was Bernie Sanders going to do? Say like, oh, we should go to war with Russia over Crimea? No, that like the Obama presidency did what Bernie Sanders would have did in that situation, which would have been nothing. Like, so there wasn't anything for Bernie Sanders to argue with political, like, policy wise, on when it comes to foreign policy. But there is a big foreign policy thing going on now. But outside of the Gaza Israel thing, and maybe the Iran war sort of kind of, it's not like progressives are really that into foreign policy. I wouldn't say so. Like, I feel like it's like 90% domestic policy and 10% Israel Gaza. It's just that 10% is a very strong part, a very strong 10%.
That is. We'll talk about this as we go on, but I was watching that Michigan Senate debate, and I think El Sayed said APAC money about Haley Stevens like in his first two sentences. And there is no doubt, I hear it coming up with voters all the time. And, Democrats love their litmus tests. And this is the new one. This is it right now, as best I can tell from listening to voters. Why do you think this issue and not, say, Russia's invasion of Ukraine? There's obviously lots of humanitarian crises around the world, people committing horrific crimes against one another. Like, why is this?
He's going to explain it in a little bit. But my opinion is the reason why liberals and progressives care more about what's going on. I care about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. I think that's also awful. But a lot of people don't care about it because they don't really see us as being part of it. They don't see us as being, what I'm saying, it's not really our thing. Like, we could get involved in that if we want to, but it's not really our thing. Whereas what's going on in Israel and Gaza, people see Israel as like almost like a protectorate of America. So that's why it's a bigger thing, because it's something that we feel like we could do something about. Like we can actually affect in a big way. Whereas what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, we can affect, but can we really affect it in a big way without actually getting drawn into some kind of a war with Russia? You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like more of like a Cold War proxy war type of thing, or okay, Russia starts a conflict, or Russia gets this other country to start a conflict with us, and then they support. You know what I'm saying? Which almost is kind of what's going on in Iran right now. But we could do more about Israel Gaza than we could do about Russia and Ukraine.
Become an American political issue?
Yeah, it's a good question. I watched that debate too, because I too am a nerd and care about the Michigan Senate primary. You're right, Abdul did raise APAC a lot. I think part of it was because APAC is spending, I think, like $30 some odd million to back his opponent, Haley Stevens. So he's trying to.
Real quick, that's insane. That's insane that a foreign lobby, like a foreign government lobby, like APAC. I mean, I guess it's not a government lobby, but it's a foreign lobby. It's for a foreign country. Is spending $30 million to influence of the elections that in America. That is insane. That's crazy.
Neutralize that spending by questioning the source of it and what, that kind of money buys you, right? So that's sort of a political tactic. Look, I think back to the early days of the Gaza war when Biden was president, and I feel like you would see a lot of people suggesting that the kind of kids at the campus protests were just there for performative reasons, and this was just people jumping on like the latest activism du jour. Now, I did not really believe that then.
Yeah, I think that's a bullshit thing to say they were just there for performance. But I will say, let's be honest, you're young, something's going on. Like I can see that growing more steam because of the environment than it would outside that environment. That's not to say that they just did it for a show. Like I don't believe that, especially like the core people, the like Palestinian kids who were doing it, even some of the Jewish kids who were doing it. I feel like a lot of them, or most of them, had strong opinions, but I do think it could have also grown bigger than it would have outside of that environment. Just because you got a lot of young kids who would love to feel like they're part of something. You know what I'm saying? So, but saying like, oh, they just were doing it for performance is bullshit. That being said, I could see how you could say it grew bigger than what it would have been outside that environment.
Um,
Nuance. Everything is nuanced. There is nothing that's black and white. Everything's a shade of gray.
I certainly don't think it's true now because of the polling you mentioned. You're seeing a lot of Democrats care deeply about this issue. A not insignificant percentage of Republicans think the U.S. is backing Israel too much. I think there's like 20% of Republicans said that in a recent on their social media feeds and in the news. Images of carnage, like people getting eviscerated by 2,000-pound bombs, kids dying, people starving to death in Gaza. And unlike Ukraine, the issue wasn't that the U.S. wasn't doing enough to support them. It was that the U.S. was supplying another country with the bombs to kill the people, right? And so it kind of married up two issues, which one was support for Israel, which is run by a extremist far right government that, if you're under 40 years old, you've only known as Bibi Netanyahu, kind of attacking Barack Obama, attacking the JCPOA, leading the U.S. into wars, right? Like that's sort of your opinion of the Israeli government. So the U.S. is supplying.
So I'm trying to do these videos before. I mean, I'm not trying to do these videos, but what I want to get across in these videos, a couple of things. Number one, my unique brand of politics, which I don't want to be like a narcissist or anything like that, but I do feel like is how I would want to see the party move, which is I kind of explained it earlier, but less ideological when it comes to social stuff. Like we still have a stance on social policy, uh, but like it's not our big rah rah go to thing. Like our like I want the party to be more like analytical in a way and more about lifting up the middle and lower class and stopping the consolidation of wealth. So that's part of the reason I'm doing these videos, just to get that out there in the political bloodstream. You know what I'm saying? Give people who might feel that type of way, who might align with that, a place to go to be reinforced or to get some ideas that they might not have had. Another reason I want to do these videos is because I want to try to take stuff that might be politically difficult for people to understand and put it into a way that they can understand it and simplify it for people, kind of dumb it down for people so that they can digest politics easier. You know what I mean? So that being said, the JCPOA was the agreement that Obama did with Iran to stop them from getting a nuclear bomb. Um, when Donald Trump came in, he did not like that agreement, even though the agreement was working. It was stopping them from getting a nuclear bomb. There was inspections to make sure that they couldn't enrich uranium to a point to where they could ever even think about getting a nuclear bomb. Even though that was going on and the plan was working and blah 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 blah, Donald Trump didn't like it for whatever
Quinnipiac poll.
reason.
I
Be
think
it
the
that
difference here is
Obama did it,
people were just waking up
be
day
it
after day.
that they kind of helped
I'm
Iran
surprised
out
that
in a
the
way, or being that
Republican support for
he
Israel
has
is so
some
high,
rich
honestly.
friends, who didn't like it for whatever reason. And those rich friends, you know, provide him money for his political campaign and for other stuff. And those rich friends didn't like it, and so he didn't like it. it could be any one of those three reasons, or it could be all three of those reasons kind of intermingled together. So but that's just to explain the JCPOA. It was the Obama agreement that had already stopped Iran from getting nuclear bomb, which they didn't want it anyway. But that was the JCPOA. It was that agreement.
The bombs that are killing these innocent people. And I think it marries up like anger at support for this right-wing government with this general frustration you hear across the political spectrum with like, why are we involved in the Middle East anymore? Like, we just want to get out of there. Leave that to them, right? Like, I heard that in a ton of your groups that we're going to talk about.
Well, let's get into the groups, and we're going to do the Israel of it all. I want to start with a quick smattering of some of the more strident anti-Israel sentiments that we heard from our focus groups in recent months. Let's listen.
But anyway, okay. So I'm actually going to stop the video here for this video because I think the video is running a little too long, and also because, like I said, this is like the second time today I've tried to make this video, and this is like the 10th time over the last couple of weeks I've tried to make this video, and I just want to get something out there. Like, I just want to post something at some point. So I'm gonna stop the video here, and this will be a part one of the video. Part two is going to be actually getting into what the voters say and whatnot, and we'll go through there. I'm going to try to do all that in one take, but as you see, I think they talked for like 6 or 7 minutes, and I've probably already talked for like 20, 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't have a time running on there. But so I'm gonna have to either a figure out how to talk less. But one reason I am talking so much because I don't want to just be a copy paste of their you know what I mean, because if it's that you could just watch the original thing, which I think you should support them because they have a whole lot of other stuff on their platforms that I'm not gonna get into. But yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna stop the video here. This will be a part one. Just basically talking about some of my views on the Israel Gaza thing, and just my some of my basic views on the Democratic Party as a whole right now. As I go on the views, I would be saying stuff like that less and less, just because you would know me by now, or hopefully you will know me. So yes, this gonna be it for today. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Definitely comment, especially because this is a new, not new for me. I've been doing videos for a little bit, but this is newer, and I would like to grow this, and I can't really do that without feedback. So try to give me constructive feedback and not just like, you're dumb liberal, blah 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 blah. I'll take that too. As long as you watch the video and you comment, I'll take it. You call me whatever you want to call me. Just make sure you watch the video. But anyway, until next time, NCTV crew, I'm out.